Have you ever felt that pounding in your temples in the middle of the night, jolting you awake with worry? Or perhaps you've watched in silent fear as the numbers on your blood pressure monitor creep higher and higher while your doctor shakes their head with concern? I know exactly what it's like to live with that constant anxiety, checking your pressure multiple times a day, carrying medication everywhere you go, even avoiding joyful moments with family because you're afraid the excitement might make your heart work too hard. Hypertension steals more than our health. It robs us of our peace, our freedom, our ability to live without fear. And the worst part is hearing those same generic recommendations over and over. Cut back on salt, lose some weight, take your medications, as if it were that simple, right? After years helping people just like you regain control over your blood pressure, I've discovered solutions that your doctors rarely mention. Natural, accessible solutions that actually work. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 8 powerful foods that have transformed the lives of hundreds of my patients. Imagine being able to play with your grandchildren without worry, travel without fear of a medical emergency far from home, or simply wake up with that heavy feeling in your chest. This isn't just another empty promise. It's a proven path you can start today, with simple foods and habits already within your reach. So stay with me until the end, because this might be the most important video you watch this year for your cardiovascular health. Before we dive in, I'd love to know if you or someone in your family struggles with high blood pressure. Leave a comment below sharing your experience or any questions you might have about this topic. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive more content that could transform your health. You know, the statistics on hypertension in America are truly alarming. Nearly half of all adults, that's about 120 million Americans, have high blood pressure. And what's even more concerning is that only about 1 in 4 people with hypertension have it under control. These aren't just numbers. They represent real people living with constant worry, taking medications with uncomfortable side effects, and facing increased risks of heart attacks, strokes, and other serious complications. But here's the good news. What you eat can make a tremendous difference. In fact, research shows that dietary changes can be as powerful as medication for many people. That's why today I'm sharing these 8 remarkable foods that can help bring your numbers down naturally.
Let's start with perhaps the most powerful blood pressure-fighting food, leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens. It's their remarkable concentration of potassium, magnesium, and nitrates, 3 nutrients that work together to relax your blood vessels and improve blood flow. Just 1 cup of raw spinach provides 839 milligrams of potassium. That's about 18% of your daily needs in a mere 7 calories. But here's what most doctors don't tell you. How you prepare these greens matters tremendously. Boiling them can reduce their potassium content by up to 50%, so steaming or enjoying them raw in salads preserves more of their blood pressure-lowering benefits. Aim for at least 2 cups of leafy greens daily. Try adding them to smoothies if you don't enjoy their taste. One patient of mine dropped her systolic pressure by 12 points simply by adding a handful of spinach to her morning smoothie for 30 days. Imagine what it could do for you. The second food might surprise you because it's often unfairly demonized in health circles: beetroot. These vibrant root vegetables are one of nature's richest sources of dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes your blood vessels, improving their elasticity and reducing pressure. A landmark study in the journal Hypertension found that drinking just 1 glass of beetroot juice daily lowered blood pressure by an average of 8 points systolic and 4 points diastolic within 24 hours. That's comparable to many prescription medications, but without the side effects. Not a fan of their earthy taste? Try roasting them with a little olive oil and balsamic vinegar. The natural sweetness comes out and they become almost candy-like. Or add small amounts to smoothies with berries to mask the taste while still getting the benefits. One critical tip many doctors miss: berries pair wonderfully with dark chocolate, which contains flavonols that also support healthy blood pressure. A small handful of berries with a square of 70% dark chocolate makes a delicious treatment for your taste buds and your heart. Our third powerful ally against hypertension is berries, especially blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. These colorful fruits are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that give berries their vibrant colors and have been proven to reduce blood pressure. A major study following more than 34,000 people found that those with the highest intake of anthocyanins had an 8% reduction in their risk of developing high blood pressure. How do they work? These compounds increase the production of nitric oxide, which helps your blood vessels relax and dilate. They also fight inflammation and oxidative stress, two key factors in the development of hypertension. Try to consume at least a half cup of mixed berries daily. Frozen berries are just as nutritious as fresh and often more affordable. For maximum benefit, add them to your morning oatmeal or yogurt rather than eating them alongside high-sugar, high-fat desserts, which can counteract their benefits. One interesting tip many doctors miss: berries pair wonderfully with dark chocolate, which contains flavonols that also support healthy blood pressure. A small handful of berries with a square of 70% dark chocolate makes a delicious treatment for your taste buds and your heart.
I want to take a moment to ask you something important. When was the last time someone really listened to your concerns about high blood pressure? Not just the numbers on your test, but how you feel living with this condition day after day. Many people tell me privately how isolated they feel, like no one truly understands the constant weight they carry, that silent fear accompanying every heartbeat. If you identify with this, I'd love to hear your experience in the comments below. It could be something as simple as, "I've been fighting hypertension for X years, and what troubles me most is your biggest concern." Sharing your story not only helps me create more relevant content for you, but it also shows others watching that they're not alone in this battle. Sometimes knowing someone else is going through the same situation brings enormous relief. And who knows, your experience might be exactly what someone needed to read today to find hope. Now, let's continue our conversation about how we can transform this reality together. The fourth powerhouse food for blood pressure control is fatty fish rich in omega-3s, like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. These heart-healthy fats work wonders for your cardiovascular system by reducing inflammation and lowering levels of pressure-raising compounds called vasoconstrictors. They also help decrease triglycerides and improve HDL, good cholesterol levels. In one remarkable study, participants who consumed fatty fish 3 times weekly for 8 weeks saw their systolic pressure drop by an average of 4.5 points and their diastolic by 3.0 points. What's fascinating about omega-3 fatty acids is how they work at the cellular level to improve blood pressure. These beneficial fats get incorporated into cell membranes throughout your body, making them more fluid and responsive. In blood vessels, this improved flexibility allows them to dilate more easily when needed, reducing resistance and lowering pressure. Omega-3s also help regulate the production of prostaglandins, hormone-like substances that affect inflammation and blood clotting. By favoring the production of anti-inflammatory prostaglandins, omega-3s create an environment that supports healthy blood pressure. The ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids in your diet also matters tremendously. Most Americans consume far too many omega-6 fats, found in vegetable oils and processed foods, and not enough omega-3s, creating an imbalance that promotes inflammation and higher blood pressure. By increasing omega-3-rich foods like fatty fish, you help restore this critical balance. Wild-caught fish generally contains higher levels of omega-3s than farm-raised varieties, though both can be beneficial.
But there's a crucial detail many health professionals overlook: How you cook the fish matters significantly. Broiling, baking, or grilling preserves the beneficial omega-3s, while deep frying can create harmful compounds that actually increase inflammation. Aim for at least 2 4-ounce servings weekly. Don't enjoy fish? High-quality fish oil supplements can provide similar benefits, though whole food sources are always preferable. For vegetarians, flax seeds and walnuts provide plant-based omega-3s, though they're not as potent as those from marine sources. One patient of mine who was resistant to multiple blood pressure medications saw her numbers normalize after adding salmon to her diet twice weekly for 3 months. Sometimes the simplest changes yield the most powerful results. Our fifth blood pressure ally is often overlooked but incredibly effective: fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut. These probiotic-rich foods support a healthy gut microbiome, which emerging research shows plays a crucial role in blood pressure regulation. A fascinating study in the journal Nature Communications found that certain gut bacteria help produce compounds that lower blood pressure, while an unbalanced microbiome can increase inflammation and blood pressure levels. Unsweetened yogurt deserves special mention. It's rich in calcium, potassium, and magnesium, 3 minerals essential for healthy blood pressure. A large study following over 2,000 adults found that those who consumed at least 2% of their daily calories from yogurt had lower systolic blood pressure and were 31% less likely to develop high blood pressure than non-yogurt eaters. When choosing yogurt, opt for plain, unsweetened varieties with live, active cultures. The sugary, fruit-flavored kinds can do more harm than good. Add your own fresh berries for sweetness and additional blood pressure benefits. For those who are lactose intolerant, fermented vegetables like kimchi and sauerkraut offer similar probiotic benefits. Start with small servings if you're not accustomed to fermented foods, about a quarter cup daily, and gradually increase to allow your digestive system to adjust. The sixth powerful food for blood pressure control might be the most delicious: dark chocolate. Yes, you read that correctly. Dark chocolate rich in cocoa, 70% cocoa content or higher, contains flavanols that stimulate your body to produce nitric oxide, which helps relax dead blood vessels and improve blood flow. A meta-analysis of 35 experiments found that dark chocolate consumption reduced systolic pressure by an average of 2 points and diastolic by 1.9 points. While this may seem modest, even small reductions in blood pressure can significantly decrease your risk of heart disease and stroke. The key is moderation and quality. I recommend about 1 square, approximately 1 ounce, of high-quality dark chocolate daily. Look for varieties with minimal added sugar and at least 70% cocoa content. The higher the percentage, the greater the benefit, and the lower the sugar. One important caution: chocolate contains caffeine, which can raise blood pressure in sensitive individuals. If you notice your heart racing after consuming dark chocolate, you might need to reduce your portion size or consume it earlier in the day. Also, chocolate contains oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stones in susceptible individuals. As with all things, balance is essential. Dark chocolate can be part of a heart-healthy diet, but it's not a license to indulge in large amounts of candy.
Our seventh blood pressure fighting champion is one of the most versatile foods available: legumes, including beans, lentils, and chickpeas. These humble foods are nutritional giants when it comes to heart health. They're packed with potassium, magnesium, and fiber, a trifecta of nutrients that work together to lower blood pressure. The soluble fiber in legumes helps reduce cholesterol levels and improves insulin sensitivity, both of which contribute to healthier blood pressure. A review of 8 studies found that consuming legumes daily for at least 10 weeks lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 2.25 points. While that might not sound dramatic, those small reductions add up over time and can make a significant difference in your cardiovascular health. Aim for at least a half cup of cooked legumes daily. If digestive discomfort is a concern, start with smaller portions and gradually increase your intake. Soaking dry beans before cooking and rinsing canned beans thoroughly can also reduce compounds that cause gas. One practical tip: keep canned beans, look for low-sodium or no-salt added varieties in your pantry for quick additions to salads, soups, and grain bowls. What many people don't realize about legumes is that they create a powerful crowding out effect in your diet. When you fill your plate with these fiber-rich foods, you naturally eat less of the processed, sodium-laden foods that can drive up blood pressure. They're also incredibly budget-friendly, providing more nutritional value per dollar than almost any other food group. For those concerned about preparation time, lentils cook in just 15 to 20 minutes without pre-soaking,
making them perfect for busy weeknights. Red lentils cook even faster, breaking down to create creamy, satisfying soups and stews. I recommend experimenting with different varieties to discover your favorites, from the earthy flavor of black beans to the nutty taste of chickpeas or the peppery notes in certain lentils. Each type offers slightly different nutritional profiles and culinary uses. One fascinating study found that mixing different legume varieties provided greater blood pressure benefits than consuming the same amount of just one type, likely due to the diverse phytonutrients each provides. One of my patients, who struggled with medication side effects, was able to reduce her dosage by half after incorporating a variety of legumes into her daily diet for 6 months. This approach might not work for everyone, but it illustrates the potential power of these simple foods. The eighth and final food that can help control your blood pressure is often overlooked but incredibly effective: seeds, particularly flax seeds, chia seeds, and pumpkin seeds. These tiny nutritional powerhouses are concentrated sources of blood pressure-regulating minerals, healthy fats, and antioxidants. Flax seeds in particular have been extensively studied for their blood pressure benefits. They contain alpha-linolenic acid, lignans, and fiber that work together to reduce inflammation and lower blood pressure. A meta-analysis of 11 studies found that consuming flax seeds daily for more than 3 months lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 3.10 points and diastolic by 2.62 points. Ground flax seeds provide the greatest benefit, as whole seeds can pass through your digestive system unabsorbed. Aim for 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds daily, sprinkled on oatmeal, yogurt, or blended into smoothies. Chia seeds offer similar benefits and have the unique ability to absorb liquid and form a gel, which can help control appetite and support weight management, an important factor in blood pressure control. Pumpkin seeds are exceptionally rich in magnesium, with just a quarter cut providing nearly half your daily needs of this essential mineral that helps regulate blood pressure.
What's particularly exciting about seeds is how easy they are to incorporate into nearly any diet. You can add them to practically anything without significantly altering the taste of your favorite foods. They're like little nutritional boosters that work silently in the background. I recommend keeping a mixture of ground seeds in your refrigerator, perhaps equal parts ground flax, chia, and hemp seeds, and sprinkling a tablespoon or 2 on your meals throughout the day. This simple habit can deliver a consistent dose of blood pressure regulating nutrients with minimal effort. One thing worth noting is the importance of properly storing your seeds. Their healthy oils are susceptible to oxidation, which can create harmful compounds. Store all seeds in airtight containers in the refrigerator or freezer to prevent their delicate oils from becoming rancid. Ground seeds are particularly vulnerable, so only grind what you'll use within a week or 2. A coffee grinder dedicated to seeds and spices makes this process quick and easy. The research on seeds and blood pressure continues to evolve, with exciting new findings emerging regularly. Recent studies suggest that certain compounds in seeds may help regulate the renin-angiotensin system, one of the body's primary mechanisms for controlling blood pressure. This may explain why seeds seem to work synergistically with certain blood pressure medications, potentially enhancing their effectiveness. One patient who was resistant to 3 different blood pressure medications saw a 15-point drop in his systolic pressure after adding 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds to his daily routine for just 2 months. Sometimes, the smallest additions yield the most powerful results. Now, I want to emphasize something crucial. While these 8 foods can be remarkably effective, they work best as part of a comprehensive approach to blood pressure management. The DASH diet, Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension, incorporates many of these foods and has been proven to lower blood pressure significantly, often within just 2 weeks. Combined with regular physical activity, stress management, adequate sleep, and medication when necessary, dietary changes can transform your heart health. One frequently asked question is whether these foods can replace medications. The answer varies depending on your individual situation. For some people with mild hypertension, dietary and lifestyle changes alone might be sufficient. For others with more severe hypertension or additional risk factors, these foods can complement medication, potentially allowing for lower doses. Always work with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your medication regimen. It's also worth noting that what you don't eat is just as important as what you do eat. Reducing sodium intake remains one of the most effective dietary strategies for lowering blood pressure. However, simply removing the salt shaker from your table isn't enough. About 70% of dietary sodium comes from processed and restaurant foods. Reading nutrition labels and preparing more meals at home gives you greater control over your sodium intake. Similarly, limiting alcohol, caffeine, and added sugars can help keep your blood pressure in check. Remember, consistency is key. Incorporating these foods into your regular eating pattern will yield much greater benefits than consuming them occasionally.
Let me share something many healthcare providers don't emphasize enough. The timing of your meals can significantly impact your blood pressure. Research suggests that intermittent fasting patterns, where you concentrate your eating within an 8 to 10-hour window, may help improve blood pressure by enhancing your body's natural circadian rhythms. This doesn't mean skipping breakfast. Rather, it might mean finishing dinner earlier and avoiding late-night snacking. Some of my patients have found that simply avoiding food for 3 hours before bedtime has helped stabilize their morning blood pressure readings. Another often overlooked aspect of blood pressure management is hydration. Proper fluid intake helps maintain the balance of blood in your circulatory system. When you're dehydrated, your body compensates by retaining sodium and constricting blood vessels, which can elevate pressure. Aim for at least 8 cups of water daily, more if you're active or live in a hot climate. Herbal teas, especially those made with hibiscus, may offer additional blood pressure benefits. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that drinking 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 7 points in people with mild hypertension. Something else worth mentioning is the role of food combinations. While each of the 8 foods we've discussed has individual benefits, certain pairings can create synergistic effects greater than the sum of their parts. For example, the vitamin C in berries enhances the absorption of the plant-based iron in leafy greens. The healthy fats in seeds and fish improve the absorption of fat-soluble antioxidants in vegetables. This is why varied, colorful meals are often more beneficial than isolated supplements. As Hippocrates wisely said over 2,000 years ago, "Let food be thy medicine." Modern science continues to affirm the profound impact our daily food choices have on our health. If you've stayed with me until now, you probably know how challenging it can be to live with uncontrolled blood pressure. That constant worry, the medications with side effects, the restrictions that seem to steal some joy from your daily life. I want you to know that you're not alone on this journey. Our channel was born precisely from the desire to create a supportive community for people like you who are seeking natural and effective ways to care for their cardiovascular health. What sets our approach apart is our commitment to looking at hypertension holistically. Rather than viewing high blood pressure as just a number to be lowered with medication, we see it as a signal from your body, an indication that certain systems need support and rebalancing. This opens up so many more possibilities for healing and empowerment. It moves you from being a passive recipient of medical interventions to an active participant in your own health journey.
Many of my patients have shared how this shift in perspective was actually the turning point in their relationship with hypertension. Instead of feeling victimized by their condition, they began to see each food choice, each moment of relaxation, each night of good sleep as an opportunity to communicate care to their cardiovascular system. This mindful approach not only helps lower blood pressure, but also reduces the anxiety that often accompanies a chronic health condition. And that anxiety reduction itself can further improve your numbers. Each week, we share new discoveries, simple recipes that help control blood pressure naturally, and answer questions that doctors often don't have time to explain during appointments. We explore not just what to eat, but also the best ways to prepare foods to preserve their beneficial compounds, how to combine foods for maximum benefit, and how to incorporate these changes in a way that feels sustainable for your unique lifestyle. We believe that healthy changes only work when they become part of your everyday life, not just temporary fixes that feel like deprivation.
If this content resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. This way, we can walk together on this health journey, one step at a time, without rushing, but with the consistency your heart deserves. I don't promise miracles, but I do guarantee honest information based on serious research and the experience of those who have achieved real results. Take good care of yourself, and I hope to see you in the next video, where we'll continue our conversation about how to live better, even with hypertension. Your heart thanks you for every small act of care you dedicated to today.